Hello, hello. Jola
Hello.
Pypno-Crapanzano here, coaching journey with Jola. My dear friends, Jola, originally from Poland, living in United States, introducing to you today beautiful Natalia Volchkova from Russia, living in Monaco. How amazing.
Yay.
We're here. Hi,
Hi.
Natalia. How are you?
Hi, girls, everybody. Very good. Thank you. Very good.
Awesome.
Really.
Awesome. So, my friends, we are here from, we are such a global community these days that we can literally, because of our wonderful technology, so we're so grateful for, we're able to connect all over the world, literally at any given time with anybody. Of course, if the internet complies and works with us. So, today, my beautiful friend Natalia. Wow, very interesting story. I tell you, buckle up because what you're about to hear will knock your socks off. I didn't put it in the intro because I wasn't not sure how far I can go with Natalia going deep into her story, but it's going to be a fascinating story, especially mothers with young daughters. Please tune in and listen up. By the way, I want to say welcome everyone who's watching us live. I will tend to all your questions at the end since we don't get distracted and we have a very limited time for this call. But I want to introduce Natalia. So Natalia is an integrative coach that deals with not just various forms of nutrition, but that integrative form of special foods and nutritional elements that she will explain later because it's a very different approach to nutrition. She also is a specialist in hormones, but interestingly enough, she didn't start like that. She actually graduated in economics and in art, but her soul wasn't in it. She knew there was more in life. She wanted to help people. Actually, as she will let you know, she wanted to be a doctor. And because it didn't happen, she knew that there was something in her that asked her, I want to help others. And this is actually my very first questions to most of my people. When did you know first time that you wanted to help people? For you? When I was born.
Exactly.
So Natalia,
It's
tell us,
almost.
please.
It's almost like that. Well, the first signs I saw when I was about 7 years old, and I started to make some injections to my toys, and I really treat them carefully, like they're my patients. And sometimes I even imagine that they didn't survive, and I made the kind of funeral for them, but it was very nice. Yes, it was really something deep in my soul. It's true. And of course, but most of them they were very good treated, and I always tell them, bye, take care of you, like this. I spoke with my toys like this, in this way.
Natalia, I remember that example you said you shaved your doll's head to perform a surgery on her brain. I mean, how crazy is that for a 7-year-old girl? I mean, this is unbelievable, right? Oh my God.
It's true. Yeah, it was like that, and it was a little bit stressful because it was my first Barbie doll, and I really sacrificed her for my passion, and it was really something special for me. So yes, finally she survived, and I just put another hairs from another doll on her later.
Like a
So
wig.
it's another story, but yes, it was like this. But till now, I see now I can help people because I became a professional teacher. But even on the street, even in the market, everywhere, even now, you can imagine how hard for me to stay in home. Being home for me now, it's incredible. Because I take care of my husband. I mean, he's afraid to catch this virus. He stay home. He doesn't go anywhere. So me, I just walk my dog early morning and late evening. But for me, if I would be alone at home now, I would go directly to the hospital to help, to volunteer, to do anything that I can do, because I feel like I need it. I feel like I need to eat.
Inside.
Like this, I feel like I need to help people. I need them. And and it's hard for me to stay without doing nothing at home.
Yeah, so that's the beginning, right? We took you to the childhood, and before we go into actually college years and explain what happened that you actually didn't become a doctor, I want to touch up on another very important piece of your life from your childhood, the time when you were actually going to those summer camps, right? Living back in Russia, in Moscow, was very typical. I mean, that's typical in many countries all over the world, sending kids to summer camps. And probably back in Russia, back in Poland, we had these nutritional special, diets that kids were put on those camps. And maybe you said they were weighing you before and after to see if you're gaining weight. So tell us about that story, because I think this is going to give people a very nice, broad introduction to where we're going with this.
So yes, my first experience with the food, because I was very good eater all the time. My parents didn't have any troubles with me. I always eat very well. Even if someone left something in their plate, I finish it. So I was a perfect child. Mm-hmm. And they don't need to have a dance in front of me just to put the spoon in my mouth. No, I was very nice in this case. And in the summer camp, and everybody around tells me that, oh, I'm so thin, I am so fragile, I need to be a model. And everybody tells me like this. I even didn't think about this, but everybody told me about this every day. Like 5 times a day.
It's so like very typical, beautiful, slender Russian girl. What you're supposed to be, a model, right? So that's got into your head.
And everybody tells me about this. I didn't think about it, but everybody tells me, and I'm starting to think about it. Of course, if someone tells you every day one thing, you start to think about it. And then I went to the summer camp, and I was always very thin, the thinner in everybody who surrounded me. And for the first time in my life, I saw the young girl, my age, she was 16, and she was 2 kilos. Here we have a metric in kilo, 2 kilos less than me. And
you lost your mind.
Yes, I remember this moment like it was just yesterday. And I started, no, it can't be like this. I can't believe it. It can't be truth. No, I can't. I need to be a minimum the same weight like her. And I stopped eating at all. And in the Russian summer camp, in the Russian system, if you gain weight in a summer camp, that means it's good. Mm-hmm. That means this summer camp is very good level and safety and everything like this. And me, I stopped eating. I started losing my weight. I really fell down to deep depression, really, because I couldn't reach this. I couldn't find why I can't have the same weight like her. Mm-hmm. Because she eats everything. Me, I don't eat anything. They put me on a scale. They check my weight. It's the same. I couldn't understand. So I really became crazy. I went to the doctor every day. Finally, they put me on the local hospital, and they tried to understand what's wrong with me. What happened? But it was so strong. Really, our mind is so strong. If it needs something,
put into anything. Yes, exactly.
Yes, you can't do anything if this part of your body wants something. I don't know what can stop it.
Yes.
Only if it is whole work, like mind, body, and soul, and they can interconnect between each other. Then maybe you can find a solution. Yes. But in my opinion, yes. Sorry, but in my case, it was really.
I just wanted, you brought it back to this moment that I forgot to mention in the introduction. Natalia is another international best-selling author of our wonderful book, One, The Guide to Body, Mind, and Soul. We are so proud.
Exactly.
Thank you, Mirav. Thank you, all co-authors, saying this every single day, because we're grateful very much for the opportunity. So back to your story. So in that camp, you realized for the first time that there was a case for you, started thinking about your weight. And then what happened?
And then what happened? Then I passed through all the stages of a lot of girls, modern girls past. Like I had bulimia, I had anorexia, I had binging eating mind disorder. I had any stages of this. My relationship with the food, we were just or we're friends or we're enemy. I didn't see the food like the way to continue my life. I saw it like, or it is enemy for today, or there is no food at all. Like this, I eat, but I interact with an enemy. It was like this with me. I didn't have any pleasure from the food. I was really suffering each time when I tried to eat because I was still thinking about my weight.
Yes.
And it starts to be like this.
Yes. And this is something that I want to bring up right now, because like you said, this is such a common problem in today's world with young girls who are surrounded with social media portraying these beautiful models, sometimes unrealistic almost in a normal, because there's so much Photoshop, there's so much stuff, but there are girls really beautiful and thin, and they are really like out there showing their bodies. So the average girls go crazy about it, right? What they don't realize is that this is unhealthy way of thinking, because you don't need to be like a toothpick to be gorgeous. You don't need to look that way at all, right? So what happens is these girls do these things. What also happens is often the parents don't realize, don't see, they miss the signs, and they notice when it's already too late. So the signs of anorexia is that when you dramatically start losing weight because you're not eating, you probably, the food that they give you throw out, right? You find the ways. You wrote in a book that you would be able to go on 1 apple and 30 grams of porridge for days. I mean, this is nuts.
It is.
Right?
It is.
And then from that, you go to that next stage of bulimic disorder, where you actually cannot deal no more with not eating. So now you binge in, and then you purge, and then you go, like it's like a never ending cycle. That's another craziness. And to be very clear, when you described the symptoms after several months, or I don't even know how long you went through bulimia, you know, when your teeth start deteriorating through the acid of purging and vomiting the food, if you talked about the brittle hair and nails and skin, and you basically becoming like this ill human being, and you think that you feel beautiful, right? Because you have that opportunity to taste the food, have that option of, oh, I ate it, but then you don't have effects of gaining weight. I mean, it's absolute craziness. So what I need to know, please tell right now the moms who are worrying, the moms who are perhaps don't know how to detect it and how to immediately stop it when they first see it.
You know, it's I believe in the bio individuality of each person. So if I tell just one word to one person, for another person it sounds like nothing.
Got it.
That's why, for example, I just give you an example. I have a patient now. She is 19 years old. She also has bulimia. I check everything. I check her analysis. I check her BMI. Everything is normal, but she thinks that she's big. And I just gave her my example. Like, I couldn't lose my weight because my muscles, you know, when you have a light structure of your body, or when you have a very strong and heavy like this, like you look like you thin, but your muscles, they are very heavy. Mm-hmm. So you can't lose the weight. So you will be slim, but your weight will be big.
Yeah, muscles are way more the fat, you know, people don't realize it.
Yes, and I said to her, maybe it's because you can't lose your weight because of your muscles. You can't remove your muscles. You don't have overweight, just look. And I give her an example, like, and she understood. And it's already 2 months. I work with her. Nothing. She did nothing. She started to eat. Her parents said that she looks really bright and fresh. And little by little, I work like this. And for each person, I try to find the explanation that works directly for them.
I understand. Okay.
Sometimes I say this. Sometimes I try to find another explanation that works for them, because each person reacts differently.
Yes, I worked with the girl once who was also bulimic in a couple of years earlier when I met her. And when I met her, she was already like a bodybuilding star and exercising a lot. And she turned her attention from the bad stuff into totally opposite spectrum, eating healthy, but exercising and making her body look phenomenal from the good reasons and good ways, good I mean, good means to do that. So anyway, you would basically just say to the parents to be vigilant and just watch out, right, for the symptoms, for the signals, what you see.
Yes, even now, my daughter, she's 10 years, but she's very thin. She's absolutely very, very tall and thin. She's normal. And she tells me, look, mommy, I'm fat. And I said, my dear, if you start to get fat any part of your body, I will tell you first. Really? Okay. And she will get it. So that's why I prefer to speak. If I work with the kids who are like before 18, I work together with their parents, because it's like I can't separate them, and I need the help of their parents. That's why once I speak with the child, once I speak with the parents, and then I understand how to find which words can I find to explain the situation and to try to solve the problem.
Yes, that's wonderful. So, I'm going to a little bit forward and backward in your timeline. So basically, we already covered the fact that now this is what you do for a living. This is your job, right? You are working with lots of patients on their health, using all the knowledge that you gain. But so what happens between you being in school, wanting to be a doctor, and then going into economics and art? What happened? What was the disconnect here?
I think it's like I grew up in a very nice family, but very how can I say, maybe old school, I would say. Mm-hmm. Like medicine, it takes too much time. You are not too strong in the chemistry. It's better you to go to economic school, because we have a connection there. And if you don't have enough if your level is not enough, we can help you to get in.
Good.
I said, okay, let's go. Like this. It was like
so basically the parents didn't support your dream.
No, just to have a stability. It wasn't for them. It wasn't necessary that I would love my profession. Mm-hmm. For them, it was more important to have a stability.
Yes.
And to have a economic education.
Yes.
Like economists. Okay.
So you basically graduated that, and you started feeling super unfulfilled, right? You
Absolutely.
knew in your heart that's why I believe, and this is something we go in day after day in these conversations, how important it is to find the truth and truly try, no matter what age, try to fulfill those dreams. Because if we cheat on our own dreams in the only lifetime we were given on this earth,
absolutely agree.
It is
absolutely
impossible to even think about this. And some people wake up early in their life and they know what they want. Some people, it takes them years, but it doesn't matter as long as you're able to figure out what is it that you want truly inside. So you were lucky enough to meet your wonderful husband, who actually helped you, supported you, and actually guided you to do what you're doing now, right? Isn't that true?
Yes.
Because you are this volunteer charities going out there doing all kind of help for all different people. Tell us a little bit about the charity work that you did, because it was fascinating too.
Well, I work with some organization that's how can I say in English? They communicate with the kids and also with the old people who are already on the last stages of their life. So that means that they have maybe sometimes they have a week of their life, sometimes some couple days.
Hospice?
Yes, exactly. Hospice, exactly. Yes. And I work there, but not for a long time, because in this when I start, it was like about a month or two, and then I had to move to Monaco, because my daughter, she has a horrible allergy because of the pollution in Russia. Mm-hmm. And we had to move to the sea, because here we absolutely forgot about everything.
I've been to Monaco a couple of times. Love the place. Are you actually in Monte Carlo, or you're outside?
No. We are in Monte Carlo in the old city.
Oh, how beautiful. That's awesome.
It
Awesome,
is.
awesome place. Next time when I'm French Riviera, I will knock at your door, say, hi,
Yes,
I'm
please. I would love
anyhow,
to.
anyhow. So basically from all this charity work, you decided that since you couldn't help people as a doctor, there was a second best way to help them as a health coach, right?
Yes, yes. Step by step, I come to this because I see people now. When I meet people, when I meet a person, I can speak with her or with him, and from the first couple of words, I can understand what's happening inside. Because sometimes the body, what happens is inside, you can see outside the signs of this outside.
I
Like
was going to ask you about this. When I read it, I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? How do I come on this interview? Do I put a mask? Do I put a hat? She's gonna know everything about me by 5
no,
minutes talking to me. And I was like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? But it is a
no.
fascinating thing. You can read people from how their hair looks, their nails, their skin, right? You can see how their
Yes,
body posture is, if they're overweight, if they're underweight, you kind of read them, right? And you can.
yes, and I like it. I really like because I find I I I can catch their waves, like energetic waves,
Mhm.
and also emotional, and also even how they speak, even how they move, even what do they do during the session. I can understand what happened with them. And every time when I spoke with before our meeting, I had a girl, and I spoke to her, and I just compared 2 months ago and now. It's just two different persons. Before it was she was very close. She did like this, and
Yes.
now she's open,
Good
sitting with a
posture.
straight.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
with a
Oh my
straight
God.
spine. She's open. Yes,
It's
and
so fascinating. I feel like everything happens for a reason. Obviously, when I booked this interview with you a couple of weeks ago, I did not remember it was April 1st. I did not remember. I forgot that I was injured. Like I had a fractured scapula.
yes,
So
I
I was unable
saw
to
it.
do much of exercise and stuff like that. And so now that I feel amazing, I actually made a decision a couple of days ago that it's time to go back to my daily routines, my exercise. And I said, what an amazing coincidence. I'm starting now my 90-day challenge with like healthy, exercise and a better nutrition, more focus. Because listen, there's this beautiful saying, people, come on, whoever listened to us, if we cannot go out, let's go in, right? Let's
Yes,
fix what's here. Let's make this amazing as possible. So at the end of this nonsense, we're gonna come like these butterflies, right? We're gonna be like, here I
yes,
am, So
renewed.
yeah,
Exactly.
so that's so wonderful. That's a beautiful coincidence to have you today on this day for my first day of my 90-day challenge. Wonderful. So now please tell me, you deal with two separate areas of expertise working with your patients. So one is the one that most people will understand, which is the typical nutrition. And we can go a little bit about it because you beautifully say that, obviously if you have a headache, you go, I take the Tylenol, most likely some other people
Ah,
take ibuprofen, or they take Advil in US, and there may be millions of other medications in Europe. But we go for the pill, and we don't think, like, why do we have this headache? And often, like you say, it could be so many
may I go
different.
to drink water?
Yes.
Yes.
Half of your body weight, people, in ounces, every single day. That's the minimum. That's what I tell you as a high performance coach. But the bottom line is,
But also not too much. Too much, it's
yes,
also
because
not
if
good.
you do too much, it's very bad too. However, it's important to know that sometimes the headache is a symptom of something that's going
Of
wrong
course.
in the body.
It's just a sign of your body that wants to show you something.
Yes. And I loved how you say that we have to be very carefully listening to what the body is trying to tell us, because that
Yeah.
way we can correct or try to help before it gets too late, right?
Exactly, immediately. Exactly. It's when we have a pain or some dizziness or something like this, that means that our body tried to connect with us, to show us, to explain, and to start to give us the moment to think about what can be the reason of this irritability.
Mm-hmm.
For example, me, I don't have I don't know. I can count on my fingers how many times I had a headache. But if I have it, I don't take, even when I have a fever, I don't take Tylenol. I don't take anything, nothing ever. Just uh, broth. Like I'm now trying to translate in my head from French into English. um, like chicken broth,
Uh-huh.
and all the day, because if you have a fever, you don't want to eat. So I drink it. I drink it. I drink it until, and the late evening, if I felt myself horrible, I have a fever 39 or 40. During the day, I drink the broth, I sleep, I do what my body asks me to do,
Yes.
tells me to do.
Mhm.
And then in the evening, I already can take a couple of pieces of this chicken. And the day after, I already can eat more. And in 2 or 3, maximum 3 days,
You
I'm
could.
done. That's
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, so you basically listen, you completely in tune to what your body is asking. You don't force it, you don't push it, you let
No.
it be. And I think very interesting topic is also working on the immune system. Like in this situation right now, lots of people, there's lots of discussions about it out there that people who are healthy won't catch it. Obviously it happens, people still catch it, young, healthy people still catch the virus, but generally people with underlying conditions with the lower immune systems are the main victims of it, right? So what would be your like recommendation as a specialist to basically boost that immune system, still try to help it right now, you know, even if it's maybe a little bit, I mean, it's never too late, but like you should be already in a better shape right now. But if you try to help yourself at the moment, what would be like a quick fix to boost immune system?
Well, first of all, I would love to say, because for many of people, it's really very surprising that our immune system located here in our microbiome. This is the engine. The whole our microbiome is our engine. And if here everything is balanced, well balanced, bacteria, no dysbacteria, nothing like this, and
Yes.
everything. Exactly. Everything is balanced here. You are on the top. Your immune system is on the top, and nothing can damage you. Nothing. Just believe me. To fix it, can I? I would love to say that a lot of vegetables, but not raw. Not raw. Me, I prefer not raw vegetables. Me, I'm absolutely fan of cauliflower and Brussels sprouts, and also broccoli. My favorite three things that I used to put in the hot water for 5-10 seconds. Then I remove it. Then I put olive oil and I eat it like this, just like this. It's a daily dose of vitamin C for you. It's in vitamin C, it's the first thing to improve your immune system.
Mm-hmm.
And then first of all, I would love to say I would love to recommend people not to fry it on a pan your thing, your food.
Mm-hmm.
Please, or steam it or bake it, but not fry it, and not on olive oil. It is so important, because all the oils they give, when you heat it, they they give you the toxic components that goes out from it.
Mm-hmm.
So you eat the toxic food. It's not a good idea at all, even in your daily life, especially right now when we need to be strong.
Yeah.
For me, I always use the coconut oil. I cook everything with the coconut oil, everywhere, everything. When the food that I'm gonna heat, I use only coconut oil. And all my family that used to were a little bit skeptical for this, for olive, for coconut oil, that tells me that it's too strong taste. And I try. You don't need to put a lot. You just put it just to give this texture for the food. And no one can tell me now that that. For example, now my family, they're eating the buckwheat pasta with tomato sauce that I prepare by myself with the coconut oil.
Nobody
Amazing, they
knows.
tell me. Amazing.
Nobody knows. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
really fool your body if you prepare. There's so many healthy, and what I would actually just say what you beautifully said in the book as well, that there will be nutritional, there will be diets, there will be so many different things that people will approach, and everybody will approach this very different way. However, what's important, everybody should contact the professional to see if any regimen or any particular diet is actually good for them. Because like, for example, my high performance coaching is one of the very important element of working with physiology or energy with my patients. I recommend as one of the number one important elements is to go and get yourself checked for allergies, and get yourself a professional, a nutritionist who will check your gut, what are you all about. If you have never done it in your life, perhaps that would be your first task after this nonsense is over. Go see the professional, because this could be the best gift you can give to yourself. Because listen, if we don't take care of this temple, again, the only one we were given in this life, nothing else matters. We can have every possession in this world. If the health fails us, we are done. So Natalia, so we got covered that very understandable part of the traditional nutrition, supplements, let's say, all that stuff. And now we're going into the integrative foods.
Yes.
Can you please talk about that? Because that's your second part that you deal. And that was a very big surprise for me. I didn't even know that this science existed. And I got myself the notes here. The doctor is called Dr. Rosenthal, that Joshua Rosenthal, right? That he is
Yes.
the founder of this science. And he basically has 12 different categories that you need to have balance in your life in order to live a happy life. So now you're the expert. I let you talk about it because this is a really important and fascinating, people. You gotta listen to it.
Yeah, as I wrote in my book, there is some categories that, like, let me start first of all from the explanation. Like in my practice, and I speak about two directions of well-being: the primary food and the secondary food. And you will be wondering that the primary food, it's not the food that we have on a plate. No, the primary food is your career, is your family, is your relationship, is your let me see, what is the joy, home cooking, and creativity, and like
all
this.
these elements that you would never consider as food, right?
Exactly.
You.
And if you eat just broccoli and you are super healthy eater, and you come home and you become angry because of the bad relationships with your, I don't know, with your parents, with your kids, with your husband, you can't say that you are a happy and a healthy person. No. That's why when I work with my patients, I speak with them also about two ways in their life. And because first of all, with the girl about who I mentioned before, finally I found out that she doesn't think that she's fat. It's her mother who tells her that she's fat, and she tells her every day this. And she said, "No, I never thought about it." But then she started to do this. She started to tell me about it, and then I had to speak with the mother. And I spoke with the mother, and she said, "Oh yeah, oh I said maybe a couple of times, but I didn't think that she took it personally."
Yes, kids take everything so personally, so direct.
Of course. So that's why it's very important to see the whole picture. And for me, the whole picture, it's everything from relationship to your plate. I need to see everything. And when I start the first session, I ask the client, the patient, to fill out this round. Actually, it's like a circle. They fill it out, and then I see this. Sometimes from the beginning, there is no like really right circle, and sometimes I see the big difference a bit like this. And then it's a little bit more straight, and then it's again like this, and then for me it's like map. And thanks to this, I can find her weak, elements in her life, in her everyday life,
Yes.
and
So
we
we
try
could
to improve
actually
it.
do like a quick little exercise. If you guys have a pen and paper in front of you, make a circle and make these 12 categories. So there would be one, spirituality, finances, education, physical activity, home environment, social life, creativity, career, health, home cooking, relationships, and joy. You can rewatch it and do it afterwards. But the bottom line is what she's saying is you basically score yourself on all these categories, and you will see where that score on that circle will end. This is a very, very popular way of estimating about different things in life. But that I found it fascinating that you actually do it with a human health. That's just really, really cool. And so when you look at that map, then you start working with the clients. That is super, super cool.
Yeah. Yes.
And then on an average, do you have like a program, let's say that is a 3 months or a 2 months? How long does it take for a person? Like you say, I spoke with a girl that was 2 months ago in this form. Now she's like this. So on an average, how long it takes a program that you offer?
Well, I start with a 6 months program. And then I continue. I can do maximum 1 year program, but I prefer to do my best to finish all my job for this 6 months, because I don't want to people. I don't want to that people will depend from me.
Mm-hmm.
I want they live their life that they open for them with my help.
Yes, because again, it's coaching, right? You show
Yes,
them the ways that they don't see themselves, and it's up
exactly.
to them what they do with it. You cannot hold
And
it.
actually, yes, and actually, it's not me who show them. I just ask them the right
Exactly.
question, and
Yeah.
they open. And when they speak, they understand it. Because sometimes if we think about something but not pronounce it, we don't actually realize it. We don't start to think about it. We don't start to understand what's happening. That's why sometimes it is very important to speak, to tell. In my practice, I just give them an answer, the questions, and they give
Yes,
me an
of
answer,
course.
and then this answer they find the answer for them.
Yeah. Yeah. So what would you think, what would you say right now in like a modern society, let's say from your experience, what would you say is the biggest problem in today's world? I'm not talking pandemic, just generally pre-pandemic time. Like, what would be the problems that people come the most? Is it relationships, or is it that really screws up their system? What is it?
Because it was the interruption.
Yes, yes. Oh, so one more time. So from your
Yes.
experience right now, what would you say is the most typical, most common problem that people come to you, that you know that ruins their health? Is it relationships? Is it the stuff, the finances? What do you say like it's the most prominent problem that comes all the time?
Yes, I can say it, and I see that this is the tendency that there is the absence of love,
Hmm.
or it's love to themselves, or love to the peace, or love to or to the people, or love to anyone. But the people, they don't know how to love and how to be loved. Really,
So simple. You would look for
it
such
is
crazy ideas, right? And it is as simple as LOVE.
exactly.
My goodness. So it's just like if people could get one thing out of this call today, just let's start off loving ourselves, right? If we
Exactly.
feel
And
our
everybody around,
we
everything
can
and
then pour
everybody.
to everybody else's cup and make this place a beautiful, this world a beautiful place to live together. Now, interestingly enough, I bring it up almost again every single day, how we are now in the same boat. Regardless if you're in Europe, in Asia, we have people right now listening to us somewhere in Japan and in Singapore, perhaps, and I don't know, California and Hawaii, I don't know. But the bottom line is we have the same problem. It's just the intensity of this somewhere in Italy maybe as bad as in New York here, and some places, you know, they don't feel it yet, but you don't know where it's going to be. So Natalia, what would you recommend from your point of view right now to people, since we say sometimes you can go outside, focus on in, what would you tell people how to best take care of themselves?
Well, here I have I believe in the power of our thoughts. If we go out, if we need to go out, we put the mask, we put the gloves, and we go out and we think, now someone gonna pass by, he will have a cough or runny nose, and I'll catch this virus. Oh my God, what can I do? But I need to go out. We attract the things that are in our heads. Just I know for me it's easy to say, but I don't know how to explain it to people. Be free of these things.
Yes, so important.
Believe in yourself. Even here, believe in yourself. You go for a walk. You don't need to catch anything. You just go for a walk for you, for your health. You put everything like to prevent this. Everything is good. Just go. But here, I would love to say you don't need to go. You don't need to be too brave. Okay, I'm gonna speak with the people. I don't need a mask. No, we have to. You have to.
Protect.
We have to use we have to protect ourselves, but not to be.
But don't to exaggerate and don't go to the extra measures. Obviously, we have to follow the trends and the regulations in certain areas. Some places don't allow no more going out. You have to stay in your immediate. I spoke with the girls from Italy, as you know, with Renee and Miraf. They are really bound today to their locations. They are not allowed. They only can go to the stores with the special like so-called passports documentation.
Same in French.
You know, obviously you're not going to allow them to go out, and there are some places they already closed park by us as well. We still allowed to go on like very like streets for walks. So this morning before our call, I went for like a run/walk, like I said, in order to keep up with my promise to myself. But the point is, it was still allowed, so we're blessed with that. But if this is impossible, there will be other ways of, introducing different forms of exercise so the body will moving. But like you say, the thoughts are everything. I've heard this really cool way of describing it. Like if we put these thoughts in our head that are not good, the universe is listening very carefully, and universe is just trying to deliver what we have in our mind. The universe doesn't understand.
That's why it is very important to think to think about positive things. Yes. And to have a positive mind, and to ask universe about good things, and it can hear you from the bad stuff and also from the good stuff.
Yes, so I have to tell you, it's incredible. Like I'm doing these calls because I feel empowered after every single one of them to be with amazing people like who we were put together by, total coincidence. It was like, there's no coincidences. Actually, there was meant to be, but coincidentally it happened a couple of months ago, right? But what I'm saying is that, it's amazing to me that all of us are so positive and optimistic, and we're looking for goodness, and we're looking to spread the good word, and we're not trying to instigate negativity. I am so tired of people doing this negative shit. I am tired. I try to eliminate and separate myself from this because it doesn't serve anybody. It's too much of it already, and if we can protect ourselves, it's only going to help us. So as simple as that. Agree. So I commend you for your amazing work. It was such a pleasure to have you today. I would love you to tell us with the parting word if anyone would like to reach out to you, because those are, let me see if we have any questions, because sometimes people don't want to ask intimate questions. But if we have any, we can answer them. And if not, then we had actually quite a nice call. We had Heidi, we have Olya. Hello, ladies. We had
Heidi, hi,
and Martina. Oh my God, I'm so happy. Oh my goodness, guys, awesome to have you. So bottom line is, if you have any questions, please, please, please drop them in the chat below or reach directly to Natalia. She'll be happy to help. I know that
Absolutely.
you guys can count
Absolutely.
on it in this giving world. Also, if you have a book in the back, I always say it in every interview, remind you, each of us gave the gifts. What was your gift, Natalia, in this book? Do you remember what you gave
A
me?
free session, of course.
Yeah, here you
A
go.
free
You can
session.
go evaluation for free. Contact Natalia, and there will be just something where you can start. So if you're concerned mother, if you have any problems, here's your girl that will help you out. Natalia, what's your handles? What's your social? What's your website where people can reach you, or what's your social media on?
It is still in progress.
It's in progress.
It is, yes, it is still in progress. I
On
just start to
Facebook
do
will
it.
be under your name, Natalia Volchkova.
Exactly.
Yes?
Exactly. And I put my mail my mail into the book also. You have it there.
Great. Listen, I want to thank you so very much for being here with us today, sharing your knowledge. And I am so proud of you that you were able. Oh, this was actually something I wanted to ask you and I forgot. So before you go, you got to answer me. How were you able to break out from that killing you disease? How did you make it happen?
Let me say, I'm very, I have very strong willpower. So the moment when I decided to lose my weight, it was also my willpower. I got it. And then when I understood, I think the bottom line was my teeth, the story with my teeth. When I saw that I ruined my body, and you know, it's when you do bad and you don't see it, you don't think about it. But when I saw it and the doctor explained me, I start to think about it. So here, the second time, my willpower, she turned to the other side. Awesome. So now she started to save me. Yes.
Awesome. Thank God that it happened. That's so good. So good. Okay. Oh my goodness. And therefore now you can share. And the best is to share your own knowledge and be able to help, because people now can relate. Okay, she did it. I can do it too.
Of course. Of course. Yeah. I tell everybody this. I'm not an angel who has the perfect life and now I can teach you how to live life. No. I passed by through a lot of difficult and different stories, but I'm here and I'm ready to share and to explain and to teach you also with pleasure, with my open heart.
Yes, we already established that you are just the person who wants to help all the time. Natalia, so once again, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks to you for this possibility. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Listen, I hope we meet in person soon.
Of course. My door are open for you every time.
Ciao. And when you come to US, you'll be my guest. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.